Hope I can find something for Grandma today.
Oh, little one, what happened to you?
Don't be afraid, I'll take you home. You're safe now.
He is a fighter, just like you.
We won't let him die, Grandma.
Look at you, Meow. You've become so big and strong.
Go, Meow. Follow your heart. But don't forget us.
I have to keep going.
Don't worry, Grandma. I'm coming. Almost there.
Meow? Is that new? Please, be careful. No! Please, stay back! Is that you? Please, be careful! Meow? Is that you? Please, be careful!
Meow, I love you.
Meow! You came back for me. You saved my life. I missed you so much, my brave girl. My Meow. I see the lights, Meow. I know the way now. Thank you for everything. Goodbye, my noble friend. Stay wild. Stay free.
This story can be believed or not, but judging by the tales of the inhabitants of Tibet, it was the truth. In a Chinese village lived a girl named Meow. She was 14 years old when she lost her parents in a car accident. She lived with her grandmother in the forest on the remote outskirts of Heilongjiang Province. In November 2025, in the forest areas of Yichun and Mulin within Dongning County, locals often encountered tiger tracks and beds in this province bordering Russia. Dongning is located on China's border territory. Part of the Tiger and Leopard National Park is also located in this county. Experts identified several tigers and stated that these individuals do not reside within the specified national park. This is because these tigers came to the border province of Heilongjiang from the Amur region of the Russian Federation. The air here is saturated with the scent of pine needles and damp earth, and the mist descending from the mountains often hide the massive figures of the striped predators silently crossing the border along frozen riverbeds. Once, while gathering mushrooms and berries, the girl Meow found a small tiger cub under a pile of fallen trees, likely abandoned by its mother. The little one lay among the intertwined branches of an old cedar. Its dull fur was matted, and its thin, piercing whimper barely broke through the sound of the wind. Meow carefully took this tiger cub in her arms, wrapped it in her warm wool shawl, and brought it home to her grandmother. With great difficulty, she and grandmother Chanchun nursed the baby back to health, because initially it was so weak that it could barely stand on its paws, which were trembling from hunger and helplessness. There was nothing they didn't try. They fed it meat, grinding it into a soft mash, warm milk. and some unthinkable decoctions of medicinal herbs and grain porridges. They washed it with water once a month, combed it with a stiff brush, and walked it 7 times a day. Luckily, the house was right in the forest. They played with it using homemade toys made of fabric scraps. Meow even ran races with it along overgrown paths and gave the cub a light massage, as she called it, kneading its strengthening muscles and warming its paws with her palms. But time passed. The tiger cub grew up and over time transformed by all appearances into a large tigress with powerful shoulders, heavy paws, and a discerning gaze in its amber eyes. Everyone knows how difficult it is to part with a friend, especially if you saved them from certain death and raised them. At Grandmother Chanchun's suggestion, it was decided to name the tigress Meow, which in Chinese means cat. So the time came when Meow began to go into the forest further and further. At first, she would disappear for only a few hours, exploring the nearby cliffs and bamboo thickets. Then, one day, she didn't come home for the night. Later, she disappeared for a week, then months, and then vanished altogether. Well, it's a known matter, nature called. Or perhaps other tigers, coming from across the Amur, found her in the deep thicket. One day, Grandmother Chanchun fell ill. Her old heart began to fail. A doctor and medicine were needed urgently. But the nearest settlement was nearly 24 km away on foot across rugged terrain. And Meow decided to cut the path and save a dozen kilometers by going through an old ravine. But she had never walked this new road before. Rounding the nearby Mount Yun, shrouded in a thick gray cloud, the girl realized she was lost among the monotonous granite ledges. She didn't want to turn back. She even felt ashamed that she had let her grandmother down, and she decided to follow the current down the nameless river. The river would lead somewhere eventually. So she walked for a day, then a second. She fed on forage, late lingonberries, mushrooms, and tree bark, trying to dull the etching hunger. She escaped from mosquitoes and stinging gnats only by quickening her pace to exhaustion or lighting a smoky fire from damp fir branches. But old taiga dwellers know that this doesn't help much. Nevertheless, Meow pushed forward stubbornly, stumbling over protruding roots and scratching her hands on thorny bushes. On the third day, Meow got lucky. Among the ancient larches, she came across an abandoned wooden log cabin that had once served as a shelter for hunters, and she decided to spend the night there. Having lit the stove with found scraps of wood, feeling the blissful enveloping warmth, Meow instantly fell asleep, her head dropping onto her crossed arms. She was awakened by a formidable vibrating roar that made the old logs of the walls tremble. Meow opened her eyes and saw a giant rogue bear in the doorway. The bear stood on its hind legs, filling the entire space, growling to reveal yellow fangs, and moved toward her. Meow first froze, feeling a chill run down her spine, and then she became very, very frightened. For some reason, she was more afraid, not for herself, not for her life, but for her grandmother. She instantly imagined how her grandmother would live alone without Meow in their little house. Who would take care of her now, light the stove and bring water? And the bear kept coming. Its huge brown bulk moved slowly but inexorably toward Meow, cornering her. Meow understood her helplessness very acutely. She could do nothing against such raw power. She could already even smell the foul, cloying scent of the beast's hide and its hot breath. One more moment and suddenly a shadow flickered from behind the trees swift, a streak of orange and black, and like lightning, it pounced on the bear from behind. Meow immediately knew by the characteristic supple spring that it was a tiger. The bear spun around, snarling and breathing heavily, but now toward the tiger. So they stood on the forest path facing each other, testing each other's strength. While the bear growled fiercely, pawed the ground, and took threatening poses, the tiger simply stood there majestically with dignity and even self-respect, proudly and menacingly staring at its opponent. The tiger's eyes sparkled with a living fire. It seemed its pupils emanated all the electricity and all the fury accumulated over a lifetime in this stripped, graceful statue. The fur on the tiger's scruff stood on end, and its tail twitched nervously.